I got a small grocery order in, so I thought I would share it with you. I've kind of gotten out of the habit of sharing these, and I know many of you really like to see what everyone buys. First, I'll shut off my AC. This is a staple in our home, so I got one just in case. Country crock we were completely out of. Cucumbers, we got some Vidalia onions, 3 of them. Eggs, which is another staple. Leo, this is his staple, tuna and salmon delectables. He gets 1 a day. Then Dunkin' decaf, some generic caramel, coffee, my coffee creamer. I needed some more laundry detergent, and we have some Smart Waters, dishwasher detergent, Veggie Lovers salad, popsicles, sugar-free. I already got into them and took one. And then turkey burger, the 98% fat-free, hamburger, 96% fat-free, firm tofu, another staple, and then these chicken legs were 99 cents a pound, so couldn't resist that price. Some frozen onion, dried mango, cashews, gluten-free pretzels, regular pretzels, and keto bread. All total at my store, it came to $144.23.
Here is what I'm looking at in the kitchen. Definitely could be a lot worse. And then the front of the dishwasher, I do not have a fingerprint proof dishwasher, so it definitely did not work the day that I took a sponge and just wiped it down. I'm using the Wyman's stainless steel cleaner and a paper towel. I could have used a microfiber cloth, but what you want to do at the end is make sure that you have taken a completely dry spot in your cloth and buffed it out. And when you do buff it out, then it doesn't streak the way it would normally streak if you weren't doing that. So that has become a very important step for me. I like to do a home reset on Fridays for the weekend, just enough to get me through the weekend, making sure I have, food for whatever we have going on the weekend, and make sure I've done enough cleaning so that I only have to do the very basics over the weekend. I don't want to be backed up with dishes or with the kitchen or with laundry or any of those things. And then I do another refresh on Mondays, where again, I take a look at things, make sure we're set up for the week, make sure we have groceries. Now on this week, I did put in the grocery order Sunday night or actually, no, I take that back. I put it in Sunday morning to get it Sunday night because I knew I would be home and I knew we needed some things. And so that is what worked out for me. I knew Monday was going to be a busy day. So besides doing the reset refresh in the house, I needed to go to 2 of our banks. We have one bank where we, deal with all the regular bills and such. And then we have another bank that has a savings account in it that's a little bit more inconvenient to access. It helps me to save money. So I needed to transfer money from one bank to the other. Would love to be able to do that online, but this bank does not allow that. So unless I want to do a wire transfer, which takes a few days, I have to physically go in. So I had to take about 2 hours. Well, it might not have been quite 2 hours, hour and a half, and take care of our banking. So that was kind of a bummer. I'm not a big fan of leaving the house on Mondays. I love to just have a quiet day at home to reset. And then I have another appointment at 5 o'clock today, and it's about an hour away. So not a ton of time at home, but it's do what you can, without worrying about what you can't. There's just always the energy that you could give up, but if you just keep on going, you'll find you got more done than you would have got if you'd have given up. So that's kind of the name of the game for today. Also, in yesterday's video, I was decluttering my daughter's bedroom, shared by my 2 teenage daughters, and I was specifically working on their closet. But because I knew I wasn't going to be around much, I chose to stick with the basics today. And since I had things neatened up in there, I knew I could wait. So it is waiting. And I'm hoping tomorrow afternoon to get back at it. So you won't see it in tomorrow's video, but you just might see it in the day after that. Because, of course, you have to have enough time to edit and all those good things. But the response has been great. I've appreciated all the encouraging comments that you guys all left there. It seems like it did resonate with people, which always makes me happy. I tried to put as many little tips and hints I've learned along the way of decluttering my home and decluttering for other people in there, so that whether or not you're decluttering for yourself or whether you're decluttering for someone else, that you would find something valuable and helpful in that video. So I've really appreciated getting to read through all of the comments. So we're getting the dishes cleaned up. And also, I have continued reading through the book. It's called Slow, Simple Living for a Frantic World by Brooke McAlary, and that's Macalary. Someone asked me if that is an audiobook. I would assume it is. If you go on Amazon and check that, I bet you would find it. So I hope that you enjoy that. I know a lot of people do better with audiobooks, and it's really great if you're doing what I'm doing right now and cleaning the house. You can probably get through quite a few books if you just keep on listening. And also, I like to look up authors on YouTube because oftentimes you will either find where somebody summed up the book or where the author themselves did interviews and talked about the book or even gave the main principles. And sometimes you can get just as much out of those interviews as you would out of the book. Or there might be podcasts on the book, that sort of thing. So I also worked on my teens' laundry, and so I'm getting that kind of separated out so I can fold it. In some cases, I wasn't sure, like undergarments, socks, whose was whose. So I'm emptying out this basket. I'm going to have one basket for all of that, and then they can just go through, pick out what is theirs. And then I'm getting everything folded. And this was probably more appreciated even than the closet declutter, just because it is something that they commonly do weekly, whereas they don't necessarily, they're obviously not cleaning out their closets weekly. So this was super appreciated. And in some cases, I was a little confused on whose is whose, but Yvonne was able to clear that up for me when she got home. She came home this night. I wasn't expecting her for a few more nights, so that was an extra special treat. And she got to come home to a nice clean bedroom, and she got to come home to folded laundry. So she's all caught up on her. Well, she brought home some laundry, so she did work on that night. But in general, she was all caught up on her laundry as well. So that was just a nice treat, and it's nice to give your kids, especially when they get older, a little bit of mom treatment. It's kind of like a home cooked meal, isn't it? When you get home and your mom did your laundry for you. So it was just neat to be able to do that. I wanted to share this excerpt from the Slow Living book from chapter 1 with you. It really resonated with me. It said, "When I look closely at the times I felt good, the moments I was happy, the days I woke with energy or passion, I began to work out what inspired me and helped me feel good. I started paying attention to what I was listening to, what I was reading, what I was eating, what I was spending my time thinking about and valuing. And by noticing the moments I was feeling good, I was slowly able to realize why I felt good. Perhaps I'd spend uninterrupted time playing with my kids. I'd managed more than the average 4 hours of sleep the night before. I'd eaten a good breakfast and drunk enough water. I'd spent time reading or working on a project I loved. I had listened to a funny podcast and found myself thinking about things in a different way or with a levity I hadn't previously enjoyed. In short, I began paying attention to the inputs in my life and started to understand that I was capable of improving the quality of those inputs, enjoying more of the things that made me feel better and less of the things that didn't." These are the thoughts that I have been thinking and analyzing and journaling through, and I wanted to share them with you because I just think it is such an important process. It really does help remind me of what chores, quote, chores around the house, cleaning, decluttering, organizing, are important to me and my well being, to have certain things done in the home so that I have time to relax. But then I also have to have an off switch. And it reminds me that off switch is so important. I've been talking lately a lot about taking breaks, to not just to take a break to put your feet up, although that is important too, but actually scheduling in when are you going to do the things that you enjoy. First of all, do you remember what you enjoy? Is it time to start trying some things? A walk on the beach, a walk on a hiking path, a walk around your yard looking at your flowers, a walk around the driveway just to get moving. a favorite podcast, trying some new YouTubers, trying a new craft, maybe trying crafts when you've never done it before, learning a new skill, going to something in the neighborhood where you live. Maybe it is a crafting class or an art class. Finding some things that you can really enjoy. If you're lonely, finding some community things that you can go and do. But just thinking about, what do you find enjoyment in, and where can you carve out time and schedule time to put in those things, getting yourself a really good book. And now with the internet, even if you can't afford a book, there's always the library, but there's also on the online section of your library where you can be downloading books to be reading as well. Free Kindle books, free Kindle app that you can download on your phone or on an iPad or on your laptop or desktop computer. There's so many options for us today. There's audiobooks that are free right on YouTube. You would be surprised at what you can actually find, and carving out time to start building yourself a life that brings you peace and calmness and enjoyment.
Okay, kind of fighting for my, oh shoot. It's time for me to make my inventory list again. So I actually have my last inventory list because I tend to keep the same things in the house. So I can write these down and then I can go check and see, what we have in the pantry and the refrigerator and freezer, and go from there with menu planning. I'm telling you that even if I make this list and I don't even make a meal plan, or I make a meal plan without the list, I'm still kind of doing what I can and chicken scratching it, So what I didn't do last time is I did veggies, meat, and then I just had like some things from the pantry without it being labeled. So I really want to get things more labeled or broken down. Like, for example, I'll do fridge veggies, and then I'll also do pantry veggies, because then it breaks it down a little more and I'm not confused. Are they fresh green beans? Are they canned green beans? Because I know I have green beans, actually. Pantry veggies. And then pantry legumes. Is it legumes or legumes? I don't know. Fridge veggies, I know I have tomatoes, carrots, lettuce, I have greens, and I have cucumbers, and some cherry tomatoes. I'll put that with the tomatoes, and cherry tomatoes. The garden tomatoes are definitely slowing down. And broccoli. I have a little bit of purple cabbage. I'll write small in parentheses so I know I don't have much. And then for pantry vegetables, pretty sure all I have is green beans. And then, so right under there, I'm going to do pantry legumes, whatever they are. Because I know I have 2 cans of black beans. I know I have some garbanzo beans and kidney beans. I just don't know how much, so I can go out and write that. I just find it easier, more relaxing to kind of sit here and do this and then get up and go look. And then I'm going to put meats at the bottom. I got chicken legs again that you would have seen. They were 99 cents a pound, so I bought them. And then I bought hamburger, but I just have like a ½ pound left because we used some last night. So I'll write ½ pound. That's good enough to do like pasta and sauce. I have chicken breast, quite a bit. I know I have pork loin, 2 pork loins. So that's something we can do. Yvonne loves pork tacos, so maybe I'll do that for her because she's back home right now. I know I have 2 pork chops, and I know I have tofu, and I know I have eggs, and then I'm going to say deli drawer because we have mozzarella, Daya mozzarella shreds, and we have Mexican cheese, American cheese, and provolone. We're totally out of bacon, and I'm going to let that go because I like to save a little money. We'll live without it. What else? I'll put it under, sauces. I have marinara, one. So we could definitely do a pizza. I'm going to write on the back of this. I know I can do pizza. I know I can do pork tacos. I should do them soon because my husband made homemade, he made dough for flour tortilla, tortilla shells, burrito shells, and I want to get that used up. So I'm going to put a star, maybe Wednesday. We're not going to be here today. Yvonne won't be here tomorrow. That's kind of how it goes. We can do a Cuban rice and beans, always. I'm not going to write too many of those. Mexican rice I could do with the pork tacos. So I said homemade pizza, pork tacos, Cuban rice, then dry rub chicken legs. Oh, I know I have potatoes. I'll put that under pantry veggies. Potatoes, and I have the Vidalia onions. And I know I also have rice. I'll put it under the legumes, even though it's not one. I just put a star by it. I got plenty of rice. So, dry rub chicken legs with potatoes and, say, broccoli. How about that? Oh, I also have frozen peas. I'll say freezer veggies. I might have some broccoli. I'll need to check. I know I have frozen onions in there. Mixed veggies. Okay, see, it gets better. Then you have something to kind of go by, right? So I can do something with chicken breast. I'd love to get those 2 pork chops done on a night when Yvonne's not home. Maybe Tuesday, because she's not home, she's at work. Because Robin and I, we just throw sauce on them and throw them on the grill and eat them. We don't care. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 meals right there. Pizza, pork tacos, Cuban rice and beans, dry rub chicken legs, something with chicken breast. I don't know what, but I could throw them on the grill. I could do, how about I say Italian dressing? Husband and I do not eat rice. Let's do salad, because I know I have veggies for salad for sure. So there's 6 meals right there. I feel like that's going to get us through the week because tonight we're not going to be home. So there's 7. Just like that. Boom. I'm telling you, it just takes sitting down and doing it. And sometimes that's the hardest part, you know? So I'm going to take like 10 minutes and get this room straightened out. And then I also, I'll check in with the living room.
Okay, so here I am cleaning the office and just trying to get everything straightened up and kind of put away. I've gotten pretty lazy and have just set things down without really thinking about where they should go. I haven't really owned this office, if that makes sense, of having a real good system where I want things. So it's definitely a work in progress. And honestly, by the time I get it all figured out, it'll probably be too cold to be in here, but hopefully not. I wanted to keep, I hope I'm not like giving you guys like whiplash by changing subjects, but I did want to keep sharing from this book. And so I'm kind of like sharing in the little in between spaces. So in the first introduction, it was really talking about knowing your why. You know, why are you doing things the way that you're doing? Is it supporting the kind of life you want to have? And one of the things the author had said is to think about, what do you want people to say about you when you're gone someday? And to let that kind of be the spark that starts things. And she mentioned some questions to ask yourself about legacy and just what life you want. And but anyway, here are the questions. The first one is, what is important to me? Then, what do I want to leave behind? What don't I want to leave behind? What do I want people to say about me? And what regrets do I want to avoid? And I think that helps with the big questions in life, to make sure that all the little moments are kind of have times where it's all going somewhere and it's not just like random activities where you're just beating in the air. You know, how I want to be known, how does that fit into what I'm doing right now, sorting papers and separating out what needs to be filed? Well, I think if anything, I know that there has to be a certain amount of order in the house or everything is always lost and I'm frustrated and grouchy. And the last thing I want to be is grouchy. Or if one of the grandkids were to come and visit, you know, I don't want things out that I don't want them to get into. Not that that's happening a lot yet, but it'll happen more and more as my son and daughter-in-law get settled into their life. That's only 4 hours from us. So, it's like, where's my life pointing and how is what I'm doing supporting that? I learned a while ago, and I think it was Clutterbug that I got this from. You can get mad that people aren't helping you, but if having the dishes done helps you to feel more at peace, remember that when you do the dishes, because no one else will do the dishes, that it is all part of self-care.
I forgot I bought a bird feeder for the window. Just got to figure out what window I'm putting it on.
And speaking of that bird feeder, if I'm not consistently cleaning, I purchase things and I forget that I purchased them, or I lose things. And the quickest way for me to find things that I've lost is to clean, because when I go through things, I
I
find
see
it
if I have the
all.
cover to this so that I can put it under the house because it's dirt.
Something else that she mentions is that you're allowed to change your focus. You're allowed to grow and evolve. You know, Everything has a season and a reason, or a reason and a season. It doesn't have to last forever. Your interests don't have to last forever. And a lot of us who have had to do big crafting declutters, and I've had to do that too. I remember when I first started with the basement, I had an entire big Rubbermaid full of random pieces of cloth. And I kept it for years and years thinking maybe I'll go back to quilting one day. Well, actually, maybe I will. But cloth that's been sitting over a long period of time, who knows how reliable it's even going to be for me. So it was okay. I had to let go and be like, okay, it's okay if I let go of this. And if I ever do return to quilting, I'm probably going to want new material anyway. So a lot of times it's that we've grown and evolved, but we're keeping the same things from past interests and past goals that we had. And we have moved on personally, but we haven't accepted the fact that we've truly moved on to get rid of those items. Someone who has young children but aren't going to have any more children are keeping the clothes and the books and the toys, even though their last child has outgrown them. And I'm not talking about the few little pieces that we want to keep and kind of show them later in life, what they used to wear or anything like that. I'm talking about just the clothes that could be better served letting someone else have them, passing them along to save somebody some money, but we hold on to the past. And that has been a big game changer for me, is taking a hard look at things. And then I was watching Danny Rearrange, and she was saying something so funny, because I've been telling this to my husband lately, is doing another declutter, going, if I were to move, would I take it with me? That is just a whole nother mindset that can help you move forward in life, because you're imagining yourself really physically moving forward, and you're thinking, is it worth packing up and dragging it with me to another house? And even if you never move, I just feel like it's kind of like Swedish death cleaning. It's just another layer, another little trick to mentally tell yourself. Because when I look at this living room, probably my most decluttered room in the house is my living room. This is why I declutter and keep things organized, is it is just so easy to keep it clean once it has been decluttered. So, for my last great act before I go do all of my errands and go to my appointment, I'm making sure the laundry is running and I'm keeping up with laundry. Laundry and dishes are my two biggies that I like to make sure I keep up. I hope this was inspiring and has gotten you thinking and has motivated you toward the things that you want to do. And I hope you remember that God loves you and I love you too. And I can't wait to see you next time with another homemaking video.